these are all the 20-inch tires that I've priced out and stuff. And I've got the sizes over here and how different they are from the OEM. The OEM is up here at the top, which is the
Okay.
Pilot Cup 2s, and
Yeah.
their diameter here. And so I compare everything to the diameter of these and make sure that we're within like a half an inch of those. And then the price per set, you can see the set price here for the fronts and the rears of the OEMs is about like $1,900. And so then I do the price of all the other sets that we're looking at here. And so
You
what I
think,
was running on, go ahead.
okay. You think these Toyo, the 315s, you could put on the rear?
They're cheap. Yeah, I looked at that and they look like they're gonna fit, but I've already seen a little bit of a rub problem with the 305s because of the toe in. And so the front edge of the tire is touching part of the tire liner on my car, only in
Okay.
weird circumstances. And so you can see how it impacted that. And so Chris was talking about grinding that out, or I could take the -2 and pull it in or out a little bit and get rid of a little bit of the toe, and it would fix that as well. But that's a really square tire that's really wide. And I'm kind of wondering if the 305 in the Pilot Cup, which is a more rounded tire, would not have that problem.
Hmm.
So the Toyos are definitely really cheap, and the size is good, but they're sold out as well. So that's not an option right now.
That's been
I've
the
heard,
problem. Everything. Hoosier is,
yeah,
it seems like
I
they're
think it's because
impossible to
it's
get.
for most climates, this is the end of the track season.
Hmm.
So I think they're kind of running their inventories down. Um, so I've got a set of these right now on there with 8 heat cycles, which is a 265 on the front and 305 on the rear, and there are R7s. And so I'm going to stay with those. And then I picked up last night, I picked up a set of these, the ones that I marked in white, which is a 255 Cup 2R and a 305 Cup 2R.
Where did you find those? I couldn't find those.
Tire rack.
I tried them. They must have sold out.
Yeah, so those are the track connection version. There's two different versions of them. There's the standard ones up here, which are very expensive, by the way. Like if you were to get the 265 and the 305, this is actually, yeah, it's even more expensive. Yeah, here, this one here. So this is the 265 and the 305, and that's $3,000 for the set. And you'd likely burn those up in a weekend. And so this set down here is $2,200 if you do it the Track Connect. So they're a lot cheaper.
What is Track
But
Connect? It's just a different compound.
no, it's the same exact tire, but they put a little cup on the inside of the tire to put another sensor. And that sensor takes pressure readings and temperature readings. And they have a little box that hooks to all 4 sensors and gives you all that information as you run around the track. Then they're supposed to come back and give you information about what the optimal pressure is for that tire.
Okay.
And so I thought, well, that's kind of cool. And then it was like $500. And then when I looked at it, I couldn't find it online. And then I read some more about it, and they discontinued it in March of 2023.
Hmm.
So I'm guessing these are the end of the road for those tires. I'm guessing
Okay.
they're going to run these out and they're going to go back to this setup here.
Cup 2R.
But yeah, the Cup 2Rs without the Track Connect. But they haven't said anything yet. Like Tire Rack isn't marking these as what discontinued and sale priced, but they are more competitively priced than these. So that the 255 will fit on our Porsche wheel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Cup 2Rs or the Cup 2s off, which I have a bolt through the back, right? And I've
Right.
patched it. So
Yep.
I'm going to pull those off. I'm going to put these on the Porsche wheels. I'm going to leave these on the FinSpeed wheels. Then I'll have 2 sets, and I'll burn through these the next like 4 or 5 heat cycles, and then I'll switch to these on Sunday and run with these. That way I can see what the wear is and how well they work. And if I like them, then maybe I'll go with they make a 265 up here. But then like I said, the price is horrific at $3,000.
Mm.
So we're
God,
gonna.
I want to
I'm gonna
try.
keep.
The Toyos are out, you think?
They're right now. They're out, and so we'd have to look at how well that fit in the back. That's a huge tire, but if you look at the size of it, it's not much bigger than that one.
And then a 285 in the front, you think you could actually fit that? There's no way.
No, we'd have to go with this one, the
Okay.
255. So we'd have a lot more rubber in the back than in the front,
Hmm.
if that's the way we go. And then people have said a lot of good things about these as well, but they're an inch. You notice it's a 40 profile,
Yeah.
so it's an inch. It's over an inch bigger on the front in diameter,
Hmm.
which is too much. And they're cheap, but anyway, maybe we'll see what sizes they come up with. That's a real weird size, a 40. They should do
I'm
a 30 or 35.
I'm feeling more and more like we have the wrong size tire. Like, meaning instead of a 20, we should have an 18 or something and try to get this
No,
thing.
you don't want an 18. If most people, I've got a whole table on
Why?
19s as well. Most people want the 19s because you can go to a slick. But as we've seen, if you go to a slick, Porsche will void your warranty on the suspension components. And like this guy that I was running with, he
That's
broke.
true?
Yeah, yeah. I talked to the guy. There was a guy running with me, and he had a GT4. It had slicks on it that were huge. They went outside the wheel wells. I don't know how he was dealing with that, but he went up on turn one, and one of the front control arms broke, and he smacked into the wall. And he brought the car to the dealership, and he wanted a warranty coverage on the accident. And they went and looked at it, and they said, yeah, it was a Porsche part that broke, but you were running slicks, and if you run slicks, it voids your warranty.
Huh.
The service guy told me, don't run slicks, run dot tires, which the Hoosiers are dots. And I asked
Yeah.
him, I can run an R7. And he said, yeah, you can run an R7, but don't run slicks. So I'm like, okay.
Okay. Well,
And they're not much cheaper to get the 19-inch. You don't save any money on that. It's just you could go to a slick, but now that I've heard this story, I don't want to go to a slick. So I think this is what we choose from, and I'm going to keep this set because the R7s are out of stock. We both know that. The A7s are the 305s are in stock, but the 265s they don't make in the A7.
right.
So I'm going to keep the order for the R7s. And after this next track weekend, I'm going to pull the burned out ones off and I'm going to put the October 19 ones on. And so I'll have another set. So I'm going to hold that order.
I am on Tire Rack and they don't, oh, Track Connect. Yeah, it says out of
Mm-hmm.
stock.
The ones that say it's coming in.
Due 9/7.
There you
Oh,
go. Tomorrow.
Okay.
And so that's another good point is that they are still stocking those tires.
Okay.
Right. So even though they canceled the Track Connect hardware, somehow they still have a supply of these tires.
Okay. Well,
So
that's heartening then.
yeah, I mean, we'll see how long it goes, and the price is good there. It's just that
But
when they
you
burn out of those, and we have to go to that or this, that's going to be
apparently I
expensive.
have a set of 295 Hoosiers brand new sitting there at
Chris's?
Performance. Yeah, at Chris's that I didn't know I had them there. Hoosier
Oh,
R7. Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Yeah. So you have this, okay, and you have a set of 265s as well for the front.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
So I
So
don't know if I can get the rear sent back and swapped out for the 305s when they come in,
that's
which would
what
be
I
ideal.
did. Yeah.
That's what you did. That's what I thought I did, but apparently I didn't. That's the downside of living in San Antonio versus Austin is you could just pop by there and go and gab it
Yeah.
up and see what the deal is.
Okay.
So
So then, what are you going to do for the weekend then?
what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to order these Track Connect
This
tires,
one and
correct, in
this
the
one.
305 rear and the 255 front.
Yeah.
And that's what I have in my shopping cart. Um, and then I will send that over, and then we should have a comparable tire for what day then? You're not going to run the Track Connect this weekend except
I'm
for on
not going to
Sunday?
run those. I'm going to mount those, and I'm going to run my Hoosiers until they burn up on Saturday when I'm cold and I haven't run in a few months, right? So I'm going to do that, and then on Sunday I'm going to switch to these.
Okay. To the Pilot Sport Cup Track Connect.
Yeah,
Okay. So then we can have an apples to apples comparison on Sunday then.
yeah.
That should be fine. And then
And
from
and
a
I've heard weird things about these things burning up, and that's why it'll be interesting to see if you
they'll burn
run
up.
hard in heat on a Saturday, how long they're going to survive. Will they make it through Sunday, or will they die halfway through Sunday? I don't know. But you would have another set. You still have these that are good,
Right.
so you could switch to those on Sunday if all hell breaks loose. Well, I don't have another set because I got to bolt through those, so I can't run those on the track. So I need a backup set, and that's what
Mhm.
these are going to do for me. These two.
Okay. And then we'll see. I mean, I still don't feel like we can really speak too much about times or tire degradation or any of that kind of stuff as of yet, because I feel like we're still trying to figure out the setup. Like it felt too squirmy on 295. So going to the 305s, you acted like that solved that. Now we don't know if that
Yeah,
solves that with the Michelin versus the Hoosier. The Hoosier obviously I think was going to have more grip, right? I mean, it has to.
it
You
has
think?
to. Yeah. This is the 140. I've got the wear here. These are 140 wear tires, and these are 40 wear tires. And everyone I've talked to that's run these say that the R7s stick your tire. But we ran these at a 180 wear. I didn't think they were that bad.
I didn't think they were bad at all. Like
Right.
I was actually going to start to look for those again if I couldn't find the tire, because at 1900 bucks, that's at least a step in the right
Yeah.
direction. Spending 24,
And it,
$2,600 on tires feels egregious.
yeah. Well, you were spending more than that on your slicks, by the way.
Look, Barry, it's a different time. It's a different era.
Yeah.
Yeah, those Michelin slicks were no joke. Those were
They were
expensive.
expensive. They were way more than this, right?
Yeah, but they also felt like you were held down by witchcraft, to use a Jeremy Clarkson word. Like it felt insane. In the Lamborghini, especially, that thing felt very, very, very planted. You could go out there on a brand new set and felt like you could just hammer it through every part of that
You're like
track
Superman everywhere.
for like 3/4 of a lap, and then it was
And then they fell
frightening
off.
again. Yeah. What's our long-term solution as far as, are we able to just get by with the current set of Porsche wheels
Yeah,
that
yeah,
came from
that's
the
going to be the
factory?
next question because I know I like this combination, and I know it doesn't fit on the Porsche wheels.
And this
So
combination, meaning what combination? Oh, the
the
cruiser
R7
combination.
265 and 305s,
Right,
and the rear will fit, but the back or the front won't fit on the Porsche wheel.
right.
So if we decide that that's the set that we like, then I'm going to have to get another set of wheels.
Except for we have a problem with that because Fin Speed is no longer there.
The guy said we could still order things from them, and it's like 2 weeks and blah blah blah. But I think I would get his pricing, and then I would also get pricing from Forge Line because now
Hmm.
I have the offsets and everything, so I can give them the offsets and say, what's your pricing? I like their wheels as
You
well.
did get the offsets for the wheels?
Yeah, I got the
Okay.
offsets.
So we'll
Yeah,
have
and
to
there was a guy
post
that was
those as
asking
well.
for that in our last video, and I posted that out there. So I've got the offsets, and now we can go shop it around and see what other manufacturers charge.
This Goodyear tire way at the bottom that had the
Yeah,
40 versus the 30, you said that was too tall, you think? A
it's way
28.
too tall. It's an inch. It's over an inch taller than the tire that we're running,
Okay.
and so I don't think that's not going to work. But I think they'll
It's
make
interesting
more
that they have
sizes.
that. Yeah.
That's a weird size. So I would guess that they're going to make some more sizes. I've been around people at the track, when I mentioned the Cup 2Rs, they say this is a better tire.
The Goodyear is.
I think that's a tire to keep our eye on. And I'd like to find someone out there that's running it and talk to them. But if they do make the right size, that's obviously a good price.
Okay. Well, let's.
And then we should, like we've said, we should keep our eye on the Toyo as well. I haven't seen anyone run those, but it's a cheap tire. So if that ever does come into the right size, I would definitely try them and see how they work.
That 315 is tempting to me because if we can just kind of figure out a way to get that rear fit on there, I don't see why that's not the better option.
Yeah, you're going to get now but you're getting into a weird place because you've got a narrower front. You only upgraded the front by 10 millimeters, and you've upgraded the rear by like what 20 millimeters. And so that's why I'm kind of wondering, even if this combination that we talked about, the 255 in the front and the 305,
It's too
that's
much.
proportionally that's the right amount to add to the front and rear from stock.
Huh.
Where we've over gripped the front now because we went from a 245 to a 265, right? But we
Right.
only went from a 295 to a 305 in the back. So I'm kind of wondering what this will feel like.
Hmm.
It may feel better. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. So I think
Yeah, we'll
a
see.
couple more weeks and we can see, and then we circle back on what tire worked best and where and what the times were and what the weather was and all of that stuff, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing that the guys, the A7's out of the picture. I've run A7s before, and they're really good as well. And the cool thing about A7s is they're an autocross tire, so your first lap out, you have full grip.
Oh, so why are those out?
Because they don't make a 265. I think they make a 255, but they don't make a 265. So once again, though, if
Why
we
wouldn't
ended
we
up,
do a 255?
yeah, if we like the 255, then it might be a good combination. So I'll have to go look and see if the A7 makes a 255. Like they make they make a 245, 265. I think they made a 255. I'll have to look. But I didn't consider the A7s. So we'll have to go back and look at those.
But you would consider them?
I would consider the time when I used to run those, I would run them in the winter when it's cold because they're so soft. And so they're like the tire that everyone uses for qualifying because you go out and you can just run right off the bat. You can run hard. And they didn't fall off that much in the wintertime after the 10th lap. But when we're running at 100 degrees outside, I don't know how well they'd hold up. So I don't think the end of September is a good time to try them. I think it's more like February, March, when there's still cold air out there. It might
Okay.
be a good time to try those. But that's when I ran them before, is in the winter.
Do we feel comfortable with, well, I guess the A7s would be comparable to your R7s, but yours have 8 heat cycles on it or whatever.
Yeah, they have 8 heat cycles, so I'm probably I'll get 4 out of it definitely. So I'll have a day worth of run time, and then I'll feel depending on what they feel like after that, I'll make a decision on. Well, definitely on Sunday, I want to try out the Cup 2Rs, but I might run like until lunch, maybe with the R7s, and then flip for the afternoon when the traffic is light for the Cup 2Rs. We'll see.
I do like the Cup 2R option just because then I can drive home and I don't
Yeah, you
have
can
to
drive up the street.
I don't have to play that song and dance and getting everything switched over. And then
They're
what
gonna be
about
like
that tool? Are we buying that tool or not, Barry?
if you're up for it, I think I'd be up for it.
Do you need to ask Mariella or are we fine?
I think we're okay. We just won't talk about it.
Okay, that's fair.
Something we found at Home Depot, and it seems to do the job.
All right. Well, let's try that. And then more to come, I guess, from the track day to see how it actually kind of works out in reality.